This is the story of something that still gives me chills when I think about it. A horror that started with something so normal, so ordinary. A mobile phone app. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. How can an app be scary? But trust me, after what I experienced, I don't download random apps anymore. I'm telling you this because you need to know. You need to be careful. It all started one night last year. I couldn't sleep. Just lying in bed, scrolling through my phone. You know the usual, Instagram, some games, a bit of YouTube. It was around 2:30 a.m. when I saw an ad pop up. It was for a mobile app I'd never heard of. The name was simple. Mirror Me. The icon was just a black square with a single, red eye in the center. I don't know why I clicked it. Maybe I was just bored. The App Store didn't have any reviews for it. No stars. Nothing. It just said, "See yourself the way others see you. Look deeper." I should have stopped there. But I didn't. I hit download. It installed quickly. And the strange thing? My phone didn't ask for any permissions. No camera. No contacts, nothing. That was weird. Usually apps ask for everything, but this one? Silent. When I opened it, the screen went black for a second. Then, like a video call, it showed my face. Just my front camera. Nothing too creepy. But then it did something strange. The app said, "This is how the world sees you." And my face. It started to change. At first I thought it was a filter. My eyes turned darker, almost pitch black. My smile looked stretched, like it was forced. My skin turned pale. Like, really pale. Then the face on the screen started to move on its own. I wasn't even blinking, but the face in the app was. It smiled wider. It tilted its head slowly. I sat there, frozen, staring. And then, it winked at me. I threw my phone across the bed. I told myself it was just a glitch, maybe a weird AR effect. But I couldn't stop shaking. I picked the phone, back up. The app had closed on its own. It wasn't even on my recent apps list. When I tried to delete it, it was gone. Completely. Like it had never been installed. I even checked the Play Store again. Nothing. Not even in my download history. The next day, I tried to forget about it. I went to work like normal. Everything seemed fine until people started acting weird around me. My friend Sarah, who always said hi to me in the morning, looked at me like she didn't recognize me. She said, "Are you okay? You look different." I checked myself in the mirror. Same face. Nothing strange. But later that day, I caught my reflection in a dark window, and I swear, I saw it again. The same version of me from the app. Pale, eyes too dark, smiling when I wasn't. That night things got worse. I was brushing my teeth and my bathroom mirror fogged up. Normal, right? But when I wiped it, there were fingerprints on the inside. Like someone had touched the other side of the mirror. I live alone. I ran out of the bathroom and locked my bedroom door. I sat in bed with the lights on, staring at my phone. That app, whatever it was, it had done something. Then, around 3 a.m., I got a notification. No app name, just a message. "Do you like what you see?" I didn't reply. I didn't even open it. I turned off my phone, but it turned itself back on. I'm not joking. The screen just lit up, and the app opened again, by itself, and there it was. That face. My face, but not mine. Staring at me. It spoke this time. It said, "Let me in!" I screamed. I dropped the phone and backed into the corner of the room. The voice wasn't coming from the phone anymore. It was whispering behind me, "Let me in." I ran. I didn't even take my phone. I just grabbed my keys and ran out of the apartment barefoot in my pajamas. I stayed at my friend Josh's place that night. I didn't tell him everything, just that I needed to crash at his place. He gave me weird looks, but he let me stay. In the morning, I asked him to come back with me to my apartment. When we got there, the place was cold, like freezing. And the mirror in the bathroom? Cracked, like something had tried to push through it. My phone was still on the bed, dead now. Battery drained. I turned it on with shaking hands. Nothing weird. On the screen, the app was still gone. The messages too. Josh looked at me and said, "Dude, you need to sleep. You're freaking yourself out." Maybe I was. Maybe I imagined it. I tried to believe that. For the next week, things were quiet. I deleted a bunch of apps, changed phones, thought maybe it was over. But then one night I got a text again. From an unknown number. Just 5 words. "We still see you. Always." And attached to the message was a photo of me, asleep in bed, taken from the corner of my room. But I live alone. I moved out the next day, left everything behind. New number, new apartment, even changed jobs. But sometimes late at night I still see that version of myself in reflections. Windows, dark screens, glass doors, and every now and then, I get that same message. Do you like what you see? So, if you ever see an app called Mirror Me, don't download it, please. It doesn't just show you your reflection. It shows you what's waiting to take your place. Listen close, because this is the story of something really creepy that happened to my friend Jake. It all started with a mobile phone app, and I promise, it's not just any app story. It's one that made Jake almost lose his mind. So, here we go. Jake was just like any of us, loved his phone, always trying new apps and usually downloading things without thinking twice. One evening, he was scrolling through his app store, looking for a new game or something fun to kill time. That's when he found it, a simple app called Shadow Chat. The app had no ratings, no reviews, just a black icon with a strange silver chat bubble. The description said, "Chat with your deepest fears. They're listening." Sounds stupid, right? But Jake downloaded it anyway. He was curious, maybe even a little bored. When he opened Shadow Chat for the first time, it looked like a normal messaging app. He typed "hello" just to test it out. At first, nothing happened. Then a reply popped up, but it wasn't from any real person. The message said, "Why are you awake so late, Jake?" Jake froze. He hadn't told anyone his name was Jake. He checked the phone, looking for who sent the message, but it said unknown. Creepy. But he thought maybe it was some weird AI chatbot or a prank, so he played along. He typed back, "Who is this?" The reply was quick. "Someone who sees you. Someone in the shadows." Jake laughed nervously. Nice joke. But then, the app started to do strange things. The messages became more personal. It knew things only Jake would know. Like the fight he had with his sister last week. Or the secret he never told anyone. That he was scared of the dark. Jake tried to close the app, but it wouldn't close. He tried deleting it, but the app stayed on his phone like it was stuck there. His phone's battery started to drain fast, and sometimes the screen would flicker by itself. That night, Jake decided to ignore it. He put his phone on the table and tried to sleep. But around 3 a.m., the app opened again on its own. A new message appeared. "You can't hide from me." Jake grabbed his phone and dropped it on the floor. His heart was racing. He didn't want to look at the screen anymore. The next morning, Jake was a mess. He told me about everything, and I told him to uninstall the app and never open it again. He said he tried, but it wouldn't go away. Then, things got worse. Jake started seeing shadows moving in his room. At first, it was just quick flashes when he turned his head. But then, he saw full shapes. dark figures standing in the corners. One time he swore he saw a shadow reach out toward him. He stopped going out at night. He left his curtains closed and lights on all the time. He barely slept. One evening he called me in panic. "Matt, I don't know what to do. The app just sent me a picture." "Of what?" I asked. "Me." But I wasn't moving. It was like it took the photo from inside my room. I told him to call the police, but Jake was scared. He didn't think anyone would believe him. The app kept sending messages. Sometimes it was just random words. Sometimes it was scary threats. "I'm inside your house. You're not alone. I'm closer than you think." One night, Jake decided to record his room with his laptop while he slept. He wanted proof of what was happening. When he woke up and watched the video, his face went pale. On the recording, the shadows moved like they were alive. One shadow came close to his bed, stretched a long arm, and reached for him. The screen flickered, and then the app's chat window opened by itself on his laptop. The last message said, "See you soon, Jake." Jake couldn't take it anymore. He left his apartment and moved to his sister's place, but the app was still on his phone. It wouldn't uninstall, wouldn't close, and kept sending messages. Asked him if he tried factory resetting the phone. He said yes, multiple times. But every time the phone started again, the app was there, waiting. Now, here's the scariest part. One night, Jake was at his sister's house. The lights were out because of a power cut. He was sitting on the couch holding his phone. Suddenly, the app sent a message. It said, "I'm not on your phone anymore." Jake looked up, and the shadows on the walls started to move. They gathered around him like smoke, twisting and turning. He dropped the phone and screamed. The next day, Jake's sister found him unconscious on the floor. His phone was smashed, but in the broken screen, you could still see the red glow of the app's icon. Jake never touched his phone again. He told me he's scared that the app followed him beyond the phone. So what's the lesson here? If you ever see an app called Shadow Chat, don't download it. Don't even look at it. Because some things aren't just apps or games. They're doorways, and once you open them, you might not be able to close them again. Jake still struggles with what happened. Sometimes when he's alone, he swears he hears that same voice from the app whispering in his ear. "I'm watching, waiting, and honestly, I'm scared it might happen to me too." So, be careful with what you download. Not every app is just an app. Some hide in the shadows waiting for you to say hello. And once you do, you might never be alone again. This is the story of my friend Emily and what happened to her because of one simple mobile phone app. It's the kind of story you want to hear, but hope never happens to you. I'm telling you exactly how it went down, so stay with me. Emily was always careful with her phone. She didn't download strange apps, didn't click on suspicious links. But one evening, she got a message from someone she didn't know. The message said, "Try this app. It shows your future." Emily, curious but a bit skeptical, clicked the link. It took her to an app called Future Sight. The app promised it could predict your future by scanning your face and your phone activity. It sounded silly, but she thought, why not? Just for fun. She downloaded the app. It asked for camera access and permission to look through her photos and messages. Emily was hesitant but agreed. The app opened with a soft chime, and a camera window appeared. She had to look straight at it. Then, the screen went dark. A moment later, words appeared. "Your future is closer than you think." Emily smiled, thinking it was some creepy way of saying get ready. Then the app showed a blurry video. At first she didn't understand it. Then she realized it was her bedroom. The camera was showing a live feed. She froze. She looked behind her, but no one was there. Then the app showed another image. Her front door. It was opening slowly. A shadowy figure stepped inside, but the video was too dark to see a face. Emily tried to close the app, but it didn't respond. Her phone screen flickered, then went black. When the phone turned back on, the app was gone. She tried to ignore it, but strange things started to happen. Emily began getting messages on her phone from unknown numbers. The messages weren't words. At first, they were just pictures, blurry and dark. But she could always tell they were places inside her apartment. A photo of the kitchen, her bathroom mirror, her bed. Then came the texts. Watch your back. Not safe. Don't trust the locks. Emily told her boyfriend Mark, but he thought she was overreacting. One night, Emily woke up to the sound of her phone vibrating on the nightstand. She reached for it, heart pounding. The app Future Sight had somehow returned, open on her screen. The screen showed her face again, but it was changing. Her eyes were glowing red, her mouth stretched into a cruel smile. Below the picture, a new message typed itself out. Your future is in my hands. Emily screamed and threw the phone across the room. It shattered on the floor. The next day, she tried to get rid of the phone. She wanted to buy a new one, but every time she tried to delete the app, it came back. She even factory reset the phone, but the app reinstalled itself immediately after she logged into her accounts. Mark started noticing things too. One evening, he was at Emily's place when the lights flickered and went out. Emily's phone lit, up by itself, showing a dark hallway she didn't recognize. Whose house is that? Mark asked. Emily had no answer. Suddenly, a figure appeared on the phone screen. It was blurry, but it looked like someone standing in the dark. The figure moved closer, and then the phone screen cracked violently. Mark grabbed Emily and ran outside. They went to a friend's place, but Emily's phone was still with her. She didn't want to leave it behind. The app kept sending messages. Sometimes the texts were warnings, other times threats. One message said, "You can't escape what's coming." Emily started having nightmares. Every night, she dreamed of the dark figure from the phone. It whispered her name, told her to open the door. One morning, Emily woke up to find all the locks on her doors broken. The windows were open, though she was sure she had closed them. She called the police, but they found no sign of a break-in. It was like someone was inside her home but left no trace. Then, the final message came. Tonight I'm coming. Emily was terrified. She didn't sleep. She stayed up all night, waiting, listening. At exactly midnight, her phone rang. The caller ID was blank. She answered. All she heard was breathing, slow, heavy, right into the phone. Suddenly, the screen flashed. It showed her face again, but now her eyes were empty black holes. The phone slipped from her hand, crashing to the floor. Emily ran to the door, but it was locked tight. No matter how hard she pushed, it wouldn't open. Then the lights went out. She was left in total darkness with her heart pounding in her chest. In the silence, a voice whispered from the shadows, "Your future is mine." The next morning, Mark found Emily's apartment empty. No sign of her anywhere. The phone lay on the floor, cracked, the app still glowing faintly on the screen. People say it was just a story, a prank, but I know what I saw when Emily showed me those messages, and I know one thing. If you ever get a message with a link to Future Sight, don't click it, because some apps aren't just apps, they're doors to something you don't want to open, and once you do, your future might disappear forever. Listen carefully, because this is the story of my friend Tom, and how a simple phone app almost destroyed his life. Tom was an ordinary guy, quiet, friendly, and always glued to his phone like most people these days. He loved trying out new apps, especially games and puzzles. One night, after a long day at work, he was scrolling through the App Store when he found a new app called Mind Maze. The description said it was a game that could challenge your mind like never before. It promised puzzles that changed and got harder as you played. No reviews, no ratings, just the name and a picture of a dark maze. Tom, being curious and bored, downloaded it. At first, Mind Maze seemed harmless. It was just a puzzle game with tricky mazes to solve, but the puzzles were different from normal games. Strange shapes, weird symbols, and sometimes the paths seemed to move by themselves. It felt almost alive. He played for hours that first night. Each level was harder and harder. The app seemed to learn how he thought and made the puzzles just a little tougher every time. Tom felt excited, like he was facing a real challenge. Then, things started to get weird. The app began sending messages after each level. Not normal game notifications, but real text messages that appeared in the app's chat window. Good job. Tom, are you ready for the next challenge? Don't stop now. Tom was surprised but didn't think much of it. Maybe the game was just trying to be friendly. He kept playing, but one message caught him off guard. Your mind is the key, but your fears are the lock. Tom paused. He wasn't sure what that meant, but he played on. That night, Tom had trouble sleeping. He kept thinking about the message. Then, at 3 a.m., his phone buzzed. A new message popped up in Mind Maze's chat. Look behind you. Tom's heart stopped. He slowly turned around, but his room was empty. Just shadows from the moonlight through the window. He laughed nervously and told himself it was a prank, but the messages didn't stop. Every night after that, Mind Maze sent messages, sometimes warnings, sometimes questions. It knew things about Tom no one else did. One night it said, "You hide your secrets well, but I see through you." Tom's hands shook. He was scared now. He tried deleting the app, but every time he did, it reappeared after he restarted his phone. Like it was stuck there, waiting. Then the real horror began. Tom started seeing strange things around his apartment. Shadows moved in the corners of his eyes. He'd hear whispers when no one was there. Once he swore he saw a dark figure standing at the end of his hallway, but when he turned on the lights, nothing was there. His friends thought he was stressed or losing it, but Tom knew it was connected to the app. One evening, Tom decided to record everything on his phone. He wanted proof. He set up the camera to record his living room and left the phone on the table. Around midnight, the phone buzzed with a new message from Mind Maze. Let's play a final game. Suddenly, the room's temperature dropped. Tom could see his breath in the air. Then the shadows grew darker, forming shapes, twisted, scary faces staring at him. He tried to move, but his body felt frozen. The phone screen lit up, showing a new puzzle. It was a maze, but this time, it looked like Tom's own apartment, with paths leading through his rooms and ending at a door with red glowing symbols. The app's message typed itself out. Solve the maze to escape. Tom's panic rose. He was trapped in his own home, caught in a nightmare game that had come to life. He focused, trying to solve the puzzle on the screen. The shadows crept closer, whispering terrible things. The longer he took, the louder the voices became. Finally, he solved the maze. The phone buzzed again. Congratulations, Tom, but this isn't over. The shadows vanished and Tom felt free again. He threw the phone into the trash and left it on the street the next day. But even weeks later, Tom wasn't the same. He was jumpy, afraid of the dark, and kept checking behind him. One night, he got a message from a number he didn't recognize. It simply said, "Ready for the next game?" Tom never responded. Sometimes I wonder if that app is still out there waiting for someone else to play. So if you ever find an app called Mind Maze, don't download it, because some games don't want you to win. They want to trap you. And sometimes the maze is your own mind. Trust me on this one. This is the story of a guy named Jake, and how one simple phone app turned his life into a nightmare. You'll want to pay attention because it's the kind of story that makes you think twice before downloading anything strange. Jake was like most people, busy with work, texting friends, scrolling social media. He loved trying new apps, especially those that promised something cool or useful. One evening, while browsing the App Store, he saw an app called Echo Voice Recorder. It was supposed to record voices clearly, better than any other app. Jake thought it might be handy for recording meetings or conversations, so without thinking much, he downloaded it. At first, the app worked perfectly, clear sound, easy to use. Jake started recording everything, his work meetings, phone calls, even his dog barking. It was great. But after a few days, something strange happened. One night, Jake was getting ready for bed when his phone suddenly lit up with a notification from Echo Voice Recorder. But it wasn't a usual notification. It was a voice message, a voice Jake didn't recognize, whispering, almost too quiet to hear. Jake paused the message, then played it again. The voice was saying his name. Jake. Jake. Over and over, soft and eerie. He laughed nervously. Probably just a glitch, right? But the voice message kept coming every night. Sometimes it was a whisper. Sometimes it was a strange song, slow and haunting. Jake tried deleting the app, but the voice messages didn't stop. They started coming from his regular phone app, from numbers he didn't know. Each message was worse than the last. Strange sounds, whispers, even laughter that sent chills down his spine. Then, the app began recording on its own. Jake noticed his phone's microphone icon lighting up randomly, even when he wasn't using the app. He felt like he was being watched, listened to. One evening, Jake was out with friends. His phone suddenly played a loud recording, his own voice talking about secrets he never told anyone. His friends stared at him, shocked. Jake was horrified. How could the app have recorded that? The messages got darker. "Why do you hide from me, Jake? Your secrets belong to me." One night, Jake woke up to the app's screen glowing in the dark. It was open, showing a recording playing. But it wasn't Jake's voice this time. It was a deep, angry voice saying, "I'm coming for you." Jake's heart pounded. He grabbed the phone and smashed it on the floor. But the next day, his new phone started acting the same way. The app reappeared with the same voice messages and whispers. Jake was desperate. He took his phone to a tech expert named Lisa. She checked the phone, looked through the apps, but couldn't find anything wrong. No virus, no hack. It was like the app had a mind of its own. Lisa warned him, "Jake, some apps are made to spy. But this one, it feels like something else, something evil." Jake laughed nervously. "Evil? Come on, Lisa." But that night, Jake's fear became real. He was lying in bed when he heard his phone ring. The caller ID showed unknown. He answered. The voice was distorted but angry. "You can't hide." Jake tried to hang up, but the line stayed open. The voice kept coming, growing louder, filling the room with cold air. Suddenly, his bedroom door creaked open by itself. Jake froze. He didn't move. The voice whispered, "I'm inside." Then the phone screen went black. The room went cold. Jake ran out, scared out of his mind. From that night, Jake's life changed. He never felt safe. The app's voice messages didn't stop. Sometimes they told him to do things strange, dangerous things. He stopped answering calls, stopped using his phone. One day, Jake vanished. His friends and family searched everywhere, but he was gone without a trace. All that was left was his phone, lying on his bed, the Echo voice recorder app open. The last message read, "You belong to me now." People say it was a prank or a hoax, but I know Jake, and I know the app was real. So if you ever see an app called Echo Voice Recorder, don't download it, because some voices are better left unheard, and some apps don't just record sounds, they record your soul. Be careful what you let into your phone. Sometimes the smallest download can bring the darkest nightmares.